so baby, I'm trying to get away. Trying to lock in the guap, trying to block with the pain. I'm a blonde little boss, I'm on top of the game. I've been plotting a lot, now I'm tossing your bait. Yeah, my pops got caught, didn't lock them away. My mom fought hard 5 jobs in a day. I'll be dropping the box, but I'm copping the pain. We out for the stars, we're a tropical place. Ooh, yeah, I'm spitting it heavy, the mission is steady. Your bitches are jelly, I'm ditching the petty. You're digging for pennies, I'm itching and ready. I open my heart when I listen to Shetty. I'm bold like a boss, but I'm little like Debbie. I know what the bros, I got richer than Getty. I'm holding the guap and I'm whipping the Yeti, yeah, Kari can play with advanced moves. I'm fucking my girl and her man too. I'm taking the ball like the Rand do. My soul is the one that I can't lose. I soak up the sun like a sand dune. I'm holding up love with the bamboo. I'm rolling the blunt by the candle. Taking the game, running it back without taking a drink. Yeah, I'm the one and I'm making a wave. Rolling the blunt and I'm blazing a J. I'm escaping the brain, go straight for the cake. I'ma take to the bank, now taking a break. I'm made for the race, I pray for the day. I wake with a bake in a great estate.
There you go, baby. There you go, baby. I'm gonna put this dick in here. You know what I like? You know what I like. Welcome back, everybody. I'm JD, Maddie, and we're going to start the show talking about some Shannon Sharpe. Okay, it's funny to me, you guys, because it's funny, but Maddie doesn't know this shit's coming, and I can see, and I guess I should have used better words. Maddie doesn't know that I did this, and so when I get to see Maddie's live reaction, which you guys don't get to see, makes it even funnier to me. I was dying. I'm almost in tears.
Again, you couldn't hear anything what I was saying on the other side. I was sat like, oh, Jay, don't do it to him like that. That's so brutal. But yeah, Shannon Sharpe, what's going on, Unc? You know, like what? Why? I
honestly believe I'm the only person who believes him. It was an accident. I've actually went live accidentally from my pocket before. And I once deleted all my phone contacts from my pocket. So like he set his shit on the counter, forgot, didn't realize he went live on IG, went to Pound Town, and it got recorded.
Yeah, and I think everybody's jealous that like Shannon Sharpe is what, like, how old Shannon Sharpe now? Like 45, 50?
50 something.
50 something. And he's still clearly got his game, you know? Like he's still like Shannon Sharpe has clearly got game. That's what everybody's mad about.
And people want him fired. That's the only reason I brought it up. I think that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. And the only thing I got to say is the people who want Shannon Sharpe to get fired, I think you might need to get laid and calm down.
Yeah, just I don't think you can sack someone over the. So when I was first reading the stories, because I didn't see any of this, Jay just texted me about it like 2-3 hours ago saying, have you seen this? So I was just reading a few stories about it on the train. Obviously, haven't gone and watched the video or anything. I'm on a public train in the UK.
You pretty much just did. It's a little longer. I clipped it up, but there's no video to it. So you just.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was like just like him like getting with this woman, right? I thought we were seeing everything, like basically just like straight up porn. Like that's what I thought it was going to be. And it's just that. Everybody chill out, man. Like calm down. It's clearly an accident.
And because I don't know why I'm this way, but I had to click the part where he said, you want this dick? Like, I don't know why
I was reading a story.
I say leave Unc alone. That's what I say. Leave Unc alone.
Leave Unc alone. I was reading a story that Pornhub have offered him a contract already. Like Pornhub have sent him the contract. Got it in. Asking him if he wants to come and join them on the site. We have some fantasy related beef going on in the chat. I think the most egregious.
We have a couple meant for you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But this is sacrilegious. Shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie is incredible, amazing food. Lamb, slow roasted, mashed potato on the top. When British people know what I'm talking about, it is an absolute delicacy. To use the plugs Matty had when I was overseas, lol. The British plug is also elite, by the way, everybody. You're all miles behind. The British plug is the best. I've been in Europe for the best part of 2 months, and their plugs are awful, so flimsy. The British plug is just such a sturdy plug. So,
what the fuck are we talking about?
Plugs, like outlets.
Oh, your 220 fucking weird fucking voltage outlets? Yeah, fuck that.
Look at them. Look how sturdy that is. That's a plug and a half. All right. That's 5 minutes of non-football
All right, you
related
guys
talk.
overusing electricity over there when the world is at a place as it is. We could talk about that, but yeah. So our football fantasy league is a lot of fun. If you guys were in the group chat, I would actually share the group chat, but we might get canceled, so I can't do that. And that's kind of a safe place for everybody who's in here to say what they want without it going public. But
yeah, we have a great fantasy thing.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
You need a converter.
Needed, yeah, terrible. We just like things done quickly over here, so we've got to get that extra power. The response to our latest show since we've come back this season, Jay, has been absolutely unbelievable. If you go look, because normally our views are really down when we first come back after a bit of a hiatus from the off season, but they're right up straight away. So we just want to thank you guys so much. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Like if you're watching us right now, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell.
As Sam K says, it doesn't hurt anything. Just do it. Hit that like and subscribe.
Yeah, like we're not going to get pushed to the front of your explore page or anything. Like you'll barely see us, even if you just hit the subscribe button. So that's fine. That's all we need.
Who the fuck uses Explore? Okay, this is another thing I can't even get into right now. This is a sports show. I'm gonna take this off into like some "What the fuck are you doing in Britain" show. All right, Maddie, let's start. Let me know where we're going. If I just put your comments about Shannon, I just wanted to be funny. Maddie and I say leave Unc alone.
Yeah, leave Unc alone 100%. Comments and we'll react to them as they come up. But segment 1 of our pre-game show, the best pre-game show out there. You don't have to listen to all the shouty shows and all of those people not really talking about anything beforehand. But segment 1 for us is Rookie QB Watch. It's something that we'll bring in every week, every other week, looking at the rookie QBs this season. And we're going to start Rookie QB Watch with who's the best rookie quarterback of week 1, Jay? Who is the best? Who's the best rookie quarterback?
Nobody.
Yeah, it did feel like that. What I've written, Jay, is Anthony Richardson. It's only his 5th start. You know,
okay, if you can go there, I'll ride with you on that. Like, if you're going to do that, and I'm not trying to shit on any of the rookie quarterbacks, but like, Caleb played awful, but he's the first rookie winning quarterback in like 20 some years or something, or he's like the 5th one ever. Some weird stat.
He's the first overall pick to win his first game as a starter in the NFL since David Carr in 2000 and something early is basically
that's David Carr, you guys. Houston Texans David Carr, not
David Carr, not Derek,
his brother, right? So that's how far back we're going. And I think there was only a couple more, like Elway was one of them, but there's not many. So like, what do you expect? And then I'm actually, if we want the question, if I can go the other way with the question, who disappointed me the most, it would be Bo Nix.
Definitely. I would agree with you there with Bo Nix. I think I'm surprised by Bo Nix's poor performance. And it's not the fact that he lost and it's not the fact that he didn't play that well. That would be okay. As we've just said, rookie quarterbacks have rough starts to the NFL. It's a difficult league. But it's the way that Bo Nix played. Like, we expected Bo Nix to just come in and just kind of run the show. He's one of the most experienced.
At least
he is the most experienced college quarterback there will ever be. There will never be a more experienced college quarterback. But he had a serious accuracy issue on 42 pass attempts. He only made 26. And they were only those 26 attempts. Those 26 completions, Jay, went for 138 yards. So it's really low risk throws all around the game line. And look, the Commanders don't have a great offense, so like it's not too crazy or anything. But the offensive system isn't maybe it's just not designed for that. But he looked jittery, was I thought the main problem.
What was the exact wording of your question?
Who was the best of the rookie QBs week 1?
Okay, so this wouldn't fit, but if you changed it to who had the best week 1, Michael Penix.
Oh, for not playing. That's
because
nice.
he's about to start. He's about to start. Kirk keeps looking the way he looked in that first game.
Yeah. I suppose it's not bad.
He's even less mobile, and I didn't think that was possible. And then I didn't realize this till I watched Chris Sims and then Dan Orlovsky talk about it. So Aaron Rodgers' injuries in his front foot, Kirk's in his back foot, where all you're throwing off of. They both said Kirk doesn't have the velocity that he had before it right now. So it's either not healed or it's never going to heal all the way. So that makes me think that Michael Penix had the best week.
Yeah, what surprised me the most about... I love that answer, by the way. That's a good answer. What surprised me most about Kirk's performance is just the complete lack of play action in the Falcons offense. Because
that's what their offensive line's built around too.
Yeah, and then Kirk is good off play action. Bijan Robinson is an absolute monster. And when you have big body wide receivers like Drake London and big body receivers like Kyle Pitts, like play action works really well for them as well. You know?
Do you think that's the Achilles though? Because he's good off the bootleg and they didn't bootleg him either.
Yeah, so I think it's due to a lack of mobility that he's got there now. Like, I don't think the only snap he took under center was a QB kneel to finish the game. That was the only snap he took under center, and that's why Kirk's best.
I didn't realize that.
From under center to into play action pass. So yeah, maybe Michael Penix did have the best week. I think the quarterback who did play the best is maybe Jayden Daniels. I think Jayden Daniels.
He had a solid week. Yeah.
Yeah, Jayden Daniels stood out the most, I thought. There was some poor throwing in there. There were very few throws over 10 yards, but it is the Commanders offense, so maybe not. A lot of that out into the flat. So from a throwing perspective, probably not. But from a running ability, he stood out on the screen. Like, as he was running, it was like, all right, okay, they've at least got something to work with. And we know he can throw. It's not like when Justin Fields came out, and we know that Justin Fields has mechanics that make him not amazing at throwing. It's Jayden Daniels at least has... Jayden Daniels has a really high floor because of his athletic ability. And I thought it was really good. And Anthony Richardson, obviously... is only playing his 5th game, so maybe we count that there. Just to come back round, what do you think of Caleb Williams? What do you think about his first performance?
I mean, I think he had a bad first performance, but I also think the Bears didn't do him any favors. I'm still out. I don't know.
Yeah. I think with Caleb, I think he came in too hyped. I think it was very noticeable that he was really jacked up to start with, and I think he overthrew a few passes and just wasn't right. But then I also think he got spooked quite early by some pressure up the middle. So the Titans' defensive tackles really, at the start of the game, penetrated early through the center, which is where QBs obviously hate to be pressured from. And I think that might have spooked him out of the pressure a little bit as well. And I think Caleb Williams just tried to do too much. Like, let's not overreact here. I don't think Caleb Williams is a bust just from one game. Like, they came out with the win. At least he didn't do what Will Levis did and hand the team the win, Like, he didn't lose the Bears the game. So I think it was an okay start. I don't think
Caleb Williams had 85 yards, no touchdowns, right? That was, I think so.
Yeah. Not a great...
they got to win. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, he didn't lose them the game. He didn't lose them the game. I think that's pretty good. I think Will Levis is going to come back up in the show a bit later on. Okay, that's our first rookie QB watch of the season. I think they'll get more interesting as we go through the season and more stuff goes on. And I just want to now turn our attention to tonight's game. An AFC East division rivalry this early on. Maybe the 1 and 2 seed of the AFC East. Jets obviously there as well. It's the Miami Dolphins versus the Bills. And we're going to break it down. And I'm going to start with, can Josh Allen sustain Superman ball for the rest of the year?
Not tonight. 96% humidity. It's going to be hot. They're not going to be able to breathe. But he's going to have to for the rest of the season if that's what you're asking. Like, he's going to definitely have to play hero ball. I just don't think it'll be tonight. I think he'll try, but I don't think, like, I don't know how humid it gets by you guys, but like the level of humidity in Florida, Miami, it's fucking wild.
Yeah, I mean, they did have. I've been on Miami Weather Watch due to a question that I have later in this segment.
I think by kickoff, it's still supposed to be 77% humidity. Really? And just for people who don't understand that humidity dew point, 50 to 60 is where people are the most comfortable. Anything under 50 is dry as fuck. Anything over 61, you start to get uncomfortable, at least in the U.S. That's the gauge we use.
Yeah. They had thunderstorms earlier today. Thunder and lightning storms earlier today, which usually breaks humidity a little bit.
There, though.
But not there. It just stays around, does it? Oh, nice.
It's hot, and then it's nothing but a small strip of land, and the ocean's just always evaporating into the air. And
nice. Yeah, I think he's going to struggle to play hero ball. But he also finished the game last week with a wrap on his hand that he didn't have going into the game.
The non-throwing hand, though, correct?
Non-throwing hand, but it still like shows he got a bit beaten up. And look, in the second half of that game against the Cardinals, he looked like a varsity player playing against freshmen at some points. Like, he looked unbelievable. Was running through linebackers, like had an amazing game. And this is the type of game where I don't mind him playing hero ball. Like this game against Miami. If he can play hero ball against Miami and he's not got the wear and tear against them, fine, go out and do it. But what you don't want to do is him having to play hero ball after back-to-back weeks of playing hero ball, because they shouldn't have needed to do it against the Cardinals. But this team isn't built right. There are problems with the Bills. The Cardinals have possibly the second worst pass rush in the entire league after the Panthers. If you look at their pass rush, they definitely might do. And there were points where the Bills just looked lost in that. And the wide receivers weren't getting as much separation as needed to throw it. So then Josh Allen has to play hero ball. And it's not what they want him to be doing week in, week out.
Another problem the Bills have, and I don't think people really think about this kind of thing, and we're going to talk about this more than once this week, which is kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. Poirier played on that defense for fucking years. You don't think Mike Daniels and that defensive coach, and it's not knowing the plays. Everybody's like, well, they could know it's not knowing the plays. It's knowing the adjustments. And so you don't think Mike Daniels and that fucking defensive coaching staff didn't sit him down and go, okay, when we go to this look, what is the defense going to do? When we go to this look, what is Buffalo's defense going to do? And Poirier he was the quarterback of that defense. He had the mic in his ear. Like, I think people are underselling how, and they have a good defense, because if you have a shit defense, it doesn't matter if you know what they do, right? Because a lot of times the 49ers line up and go, you can know what we're doing, fucker. Like, I don't care. We're just going to do it. But that's not the point. It's like, if you have a good defense, which Miami does, like, we can start naming off people, but Ramsey was playing lights out last week. We can bring that up. Ramsey ran across the field 53 yards and fucking earholed somebody. But Moose, I think that plays a big deal, and I think that it might cause Josh Allen to have to do even more if that's possible.
Yeah, and I don't think
like the Dolphins -2.5.
Yeah, Moose is from the UK, right?
No, Moose is from Arizona.
Oh, right. Okay. I was thinking, why the hell are you why are you drinking coffee at 11:30?
I forget all of them, but Moose, Eon, and some of the other fighters are the Phoenix Fight Team from Street Beefs.
Oh, right. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, and I'm just looking at it and just thinking, where do the Bills match up well against the Dolphins at the moment? And it is literally just a quarterback. It is literally just Josh Allen might have to pay. Josh Allen's going to have to play out of his skin tonight to get the win here. And that brings me on to my next question for you, Jay, which is, Is the Bills defense really ready to go up against Miami after a really poor performance against the Cardinals?
Well, first, shout out Husky, because I forgot Husky when I was saying that about the fight team, and I don't know how Husky slipped my mind. If you ever watch the Street Beef, he's the one who fights in the like Husky onesie thing, like the PJ.
I've seen him.
Yeah,
I've seen him.
I don't know how he does that in Arizona and not fall the fuck out, but okay, it's hot. But no, I think Miami is a handful for any team, and the only way you slow down Miami is to disrupt the quarterback. That's it. So if you can disrupt the quarterback, then you have a shot. I think Miami has above average offensive line. I think they have 3 really good weapons at wide receiver. Mm-hmm. And they always have this somewhat no-name backfield who plays out of their mind.
Yeah, I mean the no-name backfield now is Devin.
They're not no-name anymore, but I'm saying how long
they were last season.
Yeah, like the motherfuckers didn't even know who these people were. Yeah, and then we're all like, hey, we got to take notice.
Do you remember Jay Ajayi?
Yeah,
British guy, ran for 200 yards back to back. Right. He was a Dolphin as well. Obviously different era as well. But when she said that, I was like, oh my God, yeah, Jay Ajayi, like Dolphin, like nobody knew who he was. But yeah.
Since Ricky Williams, they've been the no-name backfield, I feel like.
Yeah, obviously Raheem Mostert has been ruled out tonight, and Devon Achane is a game-time decision, which I'm waiting on in fantasy. I'm waiting to see if they clear him to play or not. But the Bills gave up 28 points against the Arizona Cardinals last week. And look, I like the Cardinals. I feel like I'm saying that the Cardinals are this shit team, and I don't think that. I think Kyler Murray had one of his better games.
You defend the Cardinals this whole season so far, so I don't know why you feel like you've been shitting on them.
Yeah, no, just in this particular show.
Okay, okay, I got you.
I like the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are a really good team. I don't think they're the Miami Dolphins. Like, I think the Miami Dolphins wide receiver, if you gave Kyler Murray the Miami Dolphins wide receiver room, that would be wild.
Well, no, that's the question that just popped in my head. Would you rather if you're the Dolphins, have Tua or Kyler?
I'd rather have Kyler, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I think Kyler is a better quarterback. I think Kyler has had a rough couple of years with injury and off the field stuff. But I think he is more talented.
We know his athleticism. We know he can run, and he throws a great deep ball. So I think I'm with you. I didn't know at first, but I think I'm with you.
I don't think it's like a crazy. I don't think it's a crazy mismatch, but can Tua. So was the problem. So where I'm getting to with that is what we need to find out is, because the Dolphins' weapons are way better than the Cardinals' weapons at this moment in time. Was the Bills' problems with the Cardinals, was it Kyler's athleticism, or was it the weapons? Is it the fact that Kyler gets off the spot, which negates the pass rush, which is something that Tua can't really do that much? Because I don't think the Bills did get a lot of pressure on the Cardinals, and the Cardinals have a way worse offensive line than the Miami Dolphins, and you need to disrupt Tua. I think Tua has the best PFF grade given time to throw in the entire league, basically. It's him, Jalen Hurts, and Brock Purdy. Last season, if they're given time to throw, no pressures, they have the best.
Who was that besides him and Brock Purdy?
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, okay.
But then Jalen Hurts also has awful PFF ratings against pressure. So if you can pressure him, then it's fine.
I was just wondering who that was. Okay, I didn't hear you. Okay, go ahead.
And then the other side of this is the Miami Dolphins have this guy called Mike McDaniels, who is their head coach and offensive coordinator. He draws up some pretty nasty game plans for teams to deal with. So I don't think the Bills are ready to hang with the Miami offense. Now, I do think they have a chance in this game because Josh Allen can sometimes just do crazy things, right? And Coleman looked good, but I don't think that they have this in the locker at all to hang with Miami. The over-under sitting of
it opened at 48, now it's 61.
No, is that not opened at 61 and now is 48.
Oh, sitting at 48, opened at 61. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I'd take the under on that, I think. 48. 24, 21. Team scores 30.
I think that's about right.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
I'll take the over. I
that.
don't think you're wrong either way. I'll take the over.
Yeah, I don't think I would bet on that if I was you.
I wouldn't either.
Basically what I'm thinking is I think Miami are going to dominate however they want to play this game. I think they're going to dominate on the offensive side of the ball, and if they're smart, they'll just keep Josh Allen off the field as much as possible. So that means not scoring loads and loads of touchdowns. That's what I would do if I was them. One criticism of the Miami Dolphins last year was that they can't beat good teams. What do you think about that? Can the Dolphins beat a good team?
Yes, but they're not playing a good team, so I don't think they have to worry about that. I feel like that's a trick question. And it's not to completely shit on the Bills. They're not going to be the worst team in the NFL. They're not going to be drafting in the top 5 or 10, but I don't think they're scaring anybody this year. I think they look at it and go, if we just don't let Josh Allen run for 150 yards, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I cheekily put this in, and then if you look at the YouTube show description, the questions in there are, can the Dolphins beat elite NFL teams? And then underneath it's, are the Bills an elite NFL team?
Okay, yeah.
Well, underneath that. Obviously, I think the Bills are a good team. I don't want to be too harsh on them as well. I don't think they're in the same tier as the Dolphins. I think the Bills will make the playoffs, probably, but I don't think they're in the same tier as the Dolphins. If the Dolphins play them close tonight, that's on the Dolphins, not on the Bills, I would say.
If the Bills make the playoffs, it means 3 teams from that division are making the playoffs.
Yeah, I can see that though. The Jets, the Bills, and the Bills, and the Dolphins. You could see that. Also,
I'm just saying, I already see 3 teams coming out of the North, so that makes
yeah, that's a good point. I just have no one from any other divisions. No one else deserves it.
I mean, it wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world if all 4 came out of the North.
Yeah, I think just because you all have to play.
I mean, I don't mean at the same time, guys. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if any one of the 4 made the playoffs. Yes.
Okay. Oh, I got you. Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I just realized the way I said it. So yeah.
That makes sense. Also, I just hate that take. I think it's been a massive take all over the media where it's like, can the Dolphins beat good teams? It's like, it's a new year. Let's see if they can,
And they definitely can at home.
But yeah, and they beat the Cowboys at home last year as well. And it's I think it's quite a tired take. How much does Miami being at home affect this game? Nice segue. How much does Miami being at home affect this game? Obviously, we've spoken about the weather already, the humidity. Now, it is on an evening, but that's still 27 degrees Celsius, which is 80 Fahrenheit over there. There's been storms in Miami, so I wonder if slippy conditions like in Brazil leads to some weird defensive plays. What do you think on that?
Again, I think it's the humidity that causes a problem because it makes you not be able to breathe normally, right? And that's where but Miami's team is used to that humidity, so it doesn't really fuck with them. Also, it's always easier on the offense, right? Because they know where they're going. Tyreek knows where he's going, and he's faster than you. Jalen Waddle knows where he's going, and he runs better routes than a lot of players in the NFL. I'd probably sound like I hate Tua. I don't. He's my fantasy quarterback. I just, I think there's tiers to teams, and I think there's tiers to players. And I think you have the elite NFL teams, and I think the Dolphins are right in that second tier.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Dolphins are a really great team, especially on the offensive side of the ball when you look at their weapons, but their defense is really great as well. And look, maybe in these kind of weather conditions, there'll be a lot of moisture around, a lot of moisture on the ball, and and those kind of things. But Tua's been playing in Miami for like a long time now. Like he should be used to that. The Dolphins should be used to that. It's like when Denver play a Mile High. I think they like there's certain home grounds where you get a bigger advantage. It's like when the Bills play at home during the winter when they've got the reason that they've got Josh Allen as their quarterback is because of those home games in the winter. And to finish off, Jay, what are some matchups that you some much-watched matchups for you in this game?
I think, to me, what I'm going to be paying attention to is the battle at the offense and defensive lines.
Yeah, I've gone for the total. I'm looking at the battle between the wide receivers and the secondary as well. So I'm glad we've covered everybody on the field there. But yeah, I think most games in these kind of magnitudes are won in the trenches, right? I think if Gregory Rousseau can have a really big game for the Bills, I think he's the player that I would look at the most on that defensive line to cause a bit of trouble. Gregory Rousseau is kind of in the tiers of players, in the tier of pass rushers. He's trying to make his way into that elite side of things now. He's in his third year, I believe. An absolute freak of an athlete. So I think he might be able to make a difference. If he can make a difference, then Miami might be disrupted. I also think it'll be quite important if Achane can play. Otherwise, the Dolphins are back down to their third string running back. I think if Achane's ready to go, then that should give them some more control in the game. He's also just a big play hitter as well and really good out the backfield. So if the Bills are getting any pressure, having that escape route through Achane will be really important for them. So I think there's some definite matchups to work with there. This spread for this game is Dolphins favored by -2.5, Jay. What are you taking?
I'm taking the Dolphins minus the 2.5.
Yeah, I was very surprised by that. It would go into one of my shows of the week. Devon Achane is a game time decision. It looks like he's going to play, but he's a game time decision. And Raheem Mostert is out, so both of their running backs got banged up last week. But yeah, I think Miami Dolphins -2.5. I think that nearly made it into my best bet segment. Which, by the way, guys, at the end of the show today, we're doing our 3 best bets of the week, and we're doing it nice and early, so you can go and place the bets on while the spreads are where they are now before everybody else goes and puts their money on. So stay on to the end of the show to see that. Also, like and subscribe. Jay, we're now moving on to segment 3.
One thing quick that just popped in my mind. I think another reason to pick the Dolphins is I think Tyreek's going to go out and show out because of the week he's had.
Yeah, he already had a crazy week straight after. And now
there's a lot of people that are showing some hate for him, which is crazy. I think there's a lot more behind that internet hate for him than a traffic stop. I think it has to do with his history and all right, well, yeah.
A lot of people not saying the same stuff about Scotty Scheffler. Let's just
let's put it that way. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Moving on to segment 3, a new segment for the Yankee and the Brit. We're going to GM Jay, where Jay becomes the general manager of the Yankee and the Brit organization, and I give him 3 scenarios which are linked to the NFL. And he tells me what he would do with them and how he would fix these scenarios or not fix them, how he would act with them. So the first, Jay, is in the Yankee and the Brit organization, we have Jamar Chase in the building. Jamar Chase is our number 1 wide receiver at the moment. What would you do with Jamar Chase's contract standoff? What would you do with that? Jamar Chase has just rejected a $140 million deal earlier this season, which would have made him one of the highest paid wide receivers of all time.
Right. And it's because the guaranteed money doesn't start until 2027. 1 second.
GMJ's dog.
Yeah, it's not Nike like Bill Belichick, but Gypsy will do. I give him. I walk up to him and go, "Here is the exact same contract that Justin Fields signed."
That Justin Fields signed. Justin
Jefferson. Sorry,
yeah.
Justin Jefferson signed. I'm like, yeah, just take the and if he wants a penny more or $1 more, whatever, give it to him. I don't give a shit. But I'm giving him the Justin Jefferson deal. I'm getting this over with. I'll give you the $100 million guaranteed. Your first 3 seasons are pretty much guaranteed, and then we'll go from there. Like, I don't understand why the Bengals are always so fucking cheap.
I do. And they have the poorest owner.
Pay him now because it's actually a better deal than Justin Jefferson because you get to stretch it over 6 instead of 5.
Yeah, definitely. And look, Jamar Chase has proved he's worth it. You know, there are wide receivers in the league who have proved that they're worth it, and Jamar Chase is one of them. And after the week that the Bengals have just had, after the beatdown that they've just had with the Patriots, you would think it's a good time to inject a bit into the organization again. And my questions for you is, do you think this contract standoff is affecting his play? And do you think it's affecting his relationship with Joe Burrow?
No, but I do think it's affecting his relationship with the organization.
Yeah, and it's just good to just get out of the way. Because let's remember, Jamar Chase is having to play in Cincinnati, which I've heard Cincinnati is nice. Jerry Springer, the mayor of Cincinnati for a while, you know, like, seems all right. You know, PFF is in Cincinnati as well. So there's stuff that's going on. You can't tell me he wouldn't like to go to maybe a city with even more going on as well. Like, there's certain organizations that need to make sure that they're keeping their players sweet, right? To make them want to stay there. Because we forget that players have lives, you know? We forget that they have dreams and lives outside of the NFL, like where they want to live, all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, if I was the Bengals, I'd be getting that contract paid pretty much immediately. Scenario 2 for GMJ. I don't know whether you saw this, but Travis Kelce is dating this country girl. She's called Taylor Swift, I believe.
Did you just call her a country girl? That's the biggest pop star in the world, but okay.
Yeah, so Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were seen at the US Open of the tennis with the Mahomeses as well. How are you dealing with the potential Kelce Swift distractions around our organization? Do you lean into it or do you try to control it?
No, you do exactly what the Chiefs are and you lean into it. And anybody who thinks this is bad for football is crazy to me. Like, and you have the right to your own opinion. I'm not like saying you're wrong. I'm saying it's crazy to me because anything that puts more eyes on the NFL is better for all of us. It's better for the players. It's better for the teams. It's better for the fans. It creates more money, which gets players paid more, which, like, I don't know. I don't see the bad thing to this. And people are like, well, they're just bringing in casual fans. Sure, great. The playoffs are filled with casual fans. The Super Bowl is filled with casual. What's wrong with being a casual fan? You don't have to be a hardcore fan to enjoy something. And I wouldn't call myself a hardcore basketball fan. Like, I probably am more than casual, but you know what I mean? I'm far from fucking an expert on basketball. Why can't people just enjoy shit? I don't understand this hate for Taylor Swift and the whole NFL thing. I embrace it. I'm the NFL. I'm the Chiefs. Everybody. I just embrace it. Roll into it. It's better for everybody involved. Like, worldwide, she is loved. I have a friend. Here's a story. I have a friend. He's actually a friend through another friend, but whatever. His girl planned she's seen Taylor Swift 3 times. She planned their trip to Europe around going to see Taylor Swift 2 more times in Europe.
Where did she see her?
I don't remember. I don't remember, to be honest.
So I've got a story linked to that, Jay. I saw Taylor Swift in Europe, but not in the stadium. So in Munich, in Germany, basically there's this hill that looks into the stadium that she was playing in, and just a load of fans just took over that hill as well. And it was like a second concert on the hill looking into the thing. Now, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, but my girlfriend is, and we were both in Munich together at the time. So we went and sat outside, and it was a good time. Like, it's just a good time. Like, all the hate in the world, I don't understand why you can't just have a good time. Like, I don't get it.
2 quick things. Taylor Swift and Simone Biles were literally walking about 8 blocks from my house down a street called Broadway when they were here. Second, The only problem I have with Taylor Swift whatsoever is she redid Bananarama's song Cruel Summer, and nobody should have ever remade that. But other than that, I got no problem with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and I think it is good to lean into things like that. I've seen people saying that because obviously they appeared at the US Open in New York in between games. So like midweek, and it's like, okay, I get it. I could get why you could see that as distracting, but if you think that Mahomes and Kelsey haven't like deserved that by now, then you're wrong.
And Kelsey gets those veteran days for a reason. So why is it a problem that he spends them whatever way he wants to?
Yeah, definitely. And surely Kelsey being happy, like I'm sure that they seem really happy, you know, like it's a nice, I think it's a great advertisement for the NFL.
And they're both old enough, like seriously, where I think they know what they want in life. They're both peak professionals at their craft.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be shocked if this ends up being a marriage.
Yeah. Relationship advice from the
No, I'm just saying, I think they're in different places in your life than you are when you're definitely 26 and a pop star or 26 and an NFL player, 100%. You know?
So people are acting like this is like 22-year-old new starter rookie big deal in the NFL dating like huge pop star who's just starting out as well. It's not the same. Like it's just two like people who know what they want, and like they're never going to let anything get in the way of their profession as well. Like they know what they're doing. So yeah, I would lean into it as well. I think that would be the way that I would go about it. And just, you know, the Chiefs ticket sales, I imagine, have gone up a lot since Kelsey has started the Chiefs merch sales. Basically, every boyfriend that was at that concert, or like not every boyfriend, but a lot of boyfriends, because you know, like when they go to the Taylor Swift concert, you've got to dress up as like a Taylor Swift era or whatever. A lot of the boyfriends just wore a Travis Kelce jersey. That's the way that they that's the way that they got out. So Travis Kelce jerseys have probably gone through the roof in terms of sales as well. The final situation for you, Jay, is GMJ for your weekly GM meeting now is the Deshaun Watson contract. Obviously,
fire everyone. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Obviously, Deshaun Watson is in the news again for going to another trial. How do you get out of this situation? Would you be okay with seeing that amount of money sat on the bench?
Okay, it's a scumbag move because you knew all this before you signed him. But if you can get out of that contract because it's detrimental, you do it in a heartbeat. If he was playing good, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. It'd be like, yeah, we already knew about those and blah, blah, blah. But it comes to a point where you're going to have to put him on the bench if you don't want to lose the other players in that locker room. They know. They see what's going on the field. And from what I've been hearing from the talking heads on TV is Jameis Winston looks a lot better in that offense than Deshaun Watson. And the players know. And if you are not trying to win with the best players, you are going to lose the whole locker room and you're going to lose any credibility. Yeah. I think he's got a couple more weeks in him before they get there. But if he doesn't step up, I think you have to play Jameis Winston, or at the worst, DTR, but he didn't look great last year.
Yeah, what credibility the Browns have as an organization is quickly going down, because also you say it's a scumbag move, but scumbag moves against scumbag players, like, is
right? But you knew about all of these before you signed him. That's why I say it didn't bother you that it was 26 women, but fuck, now that it's 27, that's the straw that broke the camel's back. You know?
Yeah, this one sounds like even worse.
I didn't read anything into it because it was so over the Deshaun Watson shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And for the sake of the show, we both bit our tongue for a long time over the Deshaun Watson shit.
Yeah, we did actually. Do you know what? We were like, we're just gonna leave it and just see what happens. But I think the guy's a total scumbag, and I think it just gets to a certain point where it's just like,
I agree.
You just gotta say that shit.
I didn't want him in Minnesota.
Yeah, honestly, I'd get rid of him. I'd want him out the building. I don't give a shit about the money sitting on the bench. I don't want
You
the
have
money
to.
even in the
Here's the
building.
problem: you have to leave him on the. You have to keep paying him.
Yeah,
Because
that's fine.
well, if you cut him, you got to eat like 176 million. So I don't know how that works. You might have to, because of the NFLPA, keep him on the bench. And because I don't think you have a legitimate grievance to send him home like the Philly did with T.O. or Tampa did with Keyshawn back in the day and keep paying him for conduct detrimental. So I think you might actually have to keep him in the building so that you don't eat 176 in cap space all at once.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you had to eat the cap space all at once.
Or the player leaves, you have to eat it all at once.
Yeah, I just want him.
If you do it post June 1st, you can split it across 2 years, but that's still a ton.
Yeah, I'd just want him out of my football team.
I agree.
Because he's just not playing well either. You can overlook. NFL teams have overlooked a lot of shit for people who can play football well, and you can't do it with Deshaun Watson. And I like Jameis Winston. That's the other point of that, isn't it? Jameis Winston seems like just a stand-up guy,
He seems like a good person. I can't stand him.
Yeah, fine. Like, same with Russell Wilson, right? Like, Russell Wilson is probably
but Jameis is weird and corny, not just corny. Like eating W's and like, I don't mind the stupid shit he did in college, like jumping up on the thing in study hall and yelling "fucker" right in the pussy. That was dumb, but that was the thing college students were doing. Yeah, so like, I didn't mind that. The crab legs thing, I didn't care about. But he is really like weird to me as a grown ass adult doing some weird shit on the football field.
Yeah, but NFL players seem to really fucking like him though. So if it's me, Jameis Winston starting this week, like just
and if not, play DTR. It can't be any worse.
It doesn't get worse than that. But you're so right about the other players as well. Like, if you're not showing that you're trying to win, because the Browns actually have like a lot of good plays in that building. Yes. They have the reigning defensive player of the year in the building. Myles Garrett could go down as one of the better defensive ends of all time already.
I agree. It just pisses me off. I feel like they screwed TJ Watt last year, but that's a different conversation.
TJ Watt should have won it. I agree with you. I agree with you. But Myles Garrett was second, definitely, and obviously he got given the award. But
as long as he's not trying to kill people with a helmet, we're good.
Yeah, there's just a few players. There's a few teams that could really use a Myles Garrett, and you're not going to tell me that he wouldn't. I mean, every team could use Myles Garrett, right? But you're not going to tell me that he wouldn't want to go to one of the. Like, imagine now if the Jets had Myles Garrett as well, immediately fixes what seems to be a pass rush problem that they had.
One day, you and I are going to have to talk about this whole Hassan Reddick situation, because this thing's wild too.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, we'll probably talk about it on Sunday, so everybody come watch the pregame show on Sunday. Final segment of the show before we leave and get ready for the game. It's our best bets of the week. Best bets of week 2, where we pick our top 3 bets that are absolute locks for us going into the spreads this week. We do everything against the spread.
Do you have the spreads pulled up?
I've got all of the spreads right here.
Because I looked at them this morning, so you can tell me if they changed, because I took some notes on my 3. Okay.
Got you. Right. Go on. You go for your first one.
First one was 6.5 this morning. I got Indy over the Packers. Indy minus 6.5. Indy
minus 6.5. That's now gone down to -3.
Even better. Indy minus 3 over the Packers. That's even better. That means I'm running to the fucking betting booth and putting that in, because without Jordan Love, they're fucked. Malik Willis probably can't play, and he just got there. So it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, I think I think the Colts have been a bit disrespected, to be honest. Because obviously they lost their first game, but they lost against a really good Texans team. Anthony Richardson, really needs to improve his accuracy. Hopefully, we'll see him improve the accuracy throughout the rest of the season. But just some of the plays that he's able to do are just like, there are only 2 other quarterbacks, maybe 3 in the NFL that can do that. Like that pass that he made where it flew for, what was it, like 61 air yards off his back foot?
Over 70.
Over 70 off his back foot with pressure in the face, which is maybe Justin Herbert can do that. Maybe Josh Allen can do that. Maybe Patrick Mahomes can do that. And Aaron Rodgers could probably do it, but just in a very different style of throw, like in not the same. Like Aaron Rodgers could do it just because of the like way his mechanics work, but like the others can do it just straight up from brute force. But yeah, I like that pick. That makes a lot of sense. Colts -3. I think a lot of Packers have gone in and a lot of Packers fans have gone in and taken the -6. Right, like they must have done, like because the betting line has swung huge since then. Even with loving the team, I think that would be an interesting game to watch. For me, I think an absolute lock. And I'm not saying that they're going to win this game, but the Bucks are +7.5 against the Lions. So the Lions are -7.5 favorites against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And my question is, what does Baker have to do? You know, what does Baker Mayfield have to do to get a bit of respect around here?
Well, from the like people in the media, the problem is that it's always about clickbait, and they don't want to be realistic sometimes and look at how he played his last year in Cleveland because he was injured. Then he was in Carolina, which is a shit show of a fucking organization. I don't know. He might have to win a fucking Super Bowl to get any respect from people.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the Lions are a really good team. I think the Lions are going to beat Tampa. I don't think they're going to beat them by 7.5 points because the Bucs played an excellent game last week. The Bucs played really, really well. They really showed out at the wide receiver level. Like the defense is fine. You know, I don't see the Lions winning by 7.5 in that game. Jay, give us your second best bet of the week.
All right. So I have the Chiefs over the Bengals. When I looked, it was 3.5 points, -3.5.
Yeah, it's 5.5 now.
I'll still take it.
I've taken. I'll just put this out there. I've also taken that 5.5 as well. There
being is, if you look at Joe Burrow, and he is 1-8 in his week 1 and 2 as a starter. 1-8. That's crazy to think about. 1-8 as a starter in week 1 or 2.
Yeah, coming off a really bad game as well against the Patriots, like a really shocking game. Basically killed loads of people's survivor pools all as well. I just think the Chiefs looked better than they have in a while. Like on the offensive side of the ball, I think the Chiefs looked amazing, and I think the Bengals weren't ready to play. There's got to be a time where head coach Zach Johnson. There's got to be a time where he takes accountability for these slow starts, you know? Like, there's got to be a time where he takes that accountability. And they just weren't ready to play. And if there's one team that I don't want to play at this point of the season, it's this Chiefs team where Andy Reid has got them ready, that just ready for their three-peat. And I'll take the Chiefs as well. So the Chiefs are my second pick. So Jay, what is your third bet of the week?
What do you have on the spread for the Chargers over the Chargers and the Panthers?
-6, which I didn't like.
Yeah, give me the Chargers -6.
Okay.
And it's because the Panthers are going to have J.K. Dobbins run all over them.
Mm.
And I think the Panthers might not score in this game.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I like that thought, actually. So the Chargers have created what might be the best offensive line in football, especially at the tackle positions, in the next 3 years, like just because of how young they are at that point. The Panthers have the worst pass rush in the league. The Panthers might be the worst NFL team the world has ever seen, right? So they're just not They're just not ready for this.
You
Joey
didn't see
Bosa.
the 80s Packers, but I get your point.
My reference is the 0-16 Browns, or the Jets team that were
Or the
around
0-16 Lions, who then went 1-15. So they had fucking 32 games with one win. Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, there's been some pretty horrific teams in the NFL. But Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack looked really good last week. I thought they played really good games. The Panthers don't have a running back, it seems, or an offensive line. I agree with you. I'm with the way that the Chargers play football. I don't like the -6 because it's going to be a lot of running. Yeah, I don't love the -6 with the way that the Chargers play football. For me, the Rams are underdogs against the Cardinals. This is why I said it sounds like I'm slagging off the Cardinals, because the Rams are +1.5 against the Arizona Cardinals as well. So I'm going to take that one. My reasoning for that is I understand that the Rams have got offensive line issues because of injuries. I understand they've lost Puka Nacua. The Cardinals have the second worst pass rush in the NFL. How much of a difference is that offensive line going to make? The Rams took the Lions to overtime, and the Lions are somehow a 7.5-point favorite against the Bucs, who looked really good as well.
Yeah, the Lions are getting too much love already, if you ask me, but that's just me.
Yeah, and how much of a miss is Puka Nacua going to be? I think he is a big miss, but I don't think he's a big enough miss to make the Rams underdogs for this game. So give me the Rams at 1.5 there. A few honorable mentions for me. The Saints at +6 against the Cowboys. I think that's interesting after how good the Saints were week 1. I think they're potentially a bit of a difficult matchup for the Cowboys as well. And then another honorable mention for me was the Bears against the Texans. I think the Bears might play that game a bit closer because the Texans are favorite by -6.5.
All right.
But on Sunday, we're going to go through all of those games with all of the spreads that we'll have on Sunday. So make sure you tune in on Sunday for our pregame show as well.
All right. Well, we made it through another show. It's almost time. We're going to get some football here in about an hour. So I can't wait. Everybody enjoy the kickoff. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe. Make sure you go check out some of the other shows. And we really appreciate all the support we're getting this year. It's been wonderful already. And it excites me and Maddie, and we're back, and we're just going to keep bringing it for you. And I'm going 16-0 in picks this week. That's all I know.
The makeup game. Yeah. I'll be happy with around that as well.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.